Many people wonder what the costs and statistics of having diabetes are in a person's life. So I am going to inform you of what the cost of a diabetic is and the statistics. But first, I'm going to talk about the statistics. According to the National Diabetic Fact Sheet, 25.8 million people have diabetes. This includes children and adults. Now I'm going to break it down into the different age groups. Under 20 years of age, there are 215,000 people that have diabetes. The ratio works out that 1 out of 400 children are a diabetic. In the age group 20 to 65 years old, 25.6 million people have diabetes. And in the age group 65 and older, it is 10.9 million. This leads to many complications that can come with having diabetes. You can either be a type 1 or a type 2 diabetic. A type 1 is an insulin dependent, which I am an insulin dependent diabetic. Type 2 is a pill dependent. They depend on taking a pill, exercising, and eating well to keep their blood sugars under control. And according to Shaw, 95% of people that are diabetic are type 2 diabetics, the pill dependents. Now, with the National Diabetics Fact Sheet, 213,404 people will die from complications of having diabetes or the complications that come from having diabetes. This is done because they are 2 to 4 times higher in creating and having other complications of having diabetes. Some of the complications that come from having diabetes are heart disease, heart attacks, strokes, blindness, kidney disease, high blood pressure, neuropathy, which is a nerve disease, and then which can create amputation. Next, we will go on to the cost of having diabetes. The National Diabetes Fact Sheet indicates that it costs $174 billion a year for medical reasons yearly on those that have diabetes. To break this down a little bit smaller, it is $116 billion for direct medical costs and $58 billion for indirect medical costs, which refers to people that are not able to work and have other disabilities. According to Patrick Toddy, he did a report on figuring out how much it's going to cost in the year 2034, and his report comes up to $3,036 billion that is going to cost for the people that have diabetes. This year alone has been significantly costly for me. I had to replace my insulin pump, which is a little machine that gives me insulin. 5 years ago, it only cost me $4,500, but this year it cost $7,000. Gestational diabetes, according to Rita, is on the rise. That is becoming a diabetic at a very young age. The rise that it is costing is $623 million to cover people with gestational diabetes. I've also been in the hospital twice this year, so that's been a cost that I've had to deal with, and that is close to $4,000. Each day I have to deal with my diabetes. First of all, I check my blood sugar with a glucometer. And there's 15 strips in a drum that goes inside my glucometer, and that for a box of that is $100. There's only 3 drums per box, so it takes me 3 boxes a month. Insulin is also another part of having diabetes. It costs me $97 for a bottle of insulin, and I go through 3 bottles a month. Now, the supplies that I need to get the insulin from the pump into my body are infusion sets and cartridges, and they cost me $325 a month. Now, this cost is significantly lower than what it cost my father to deal with his. He's had 2 kidney transplants, is half blind, has high blood pressure, and a few other medical complications with it. And hopefully, and pray to God that I never have to deal with any other complications, just taking the insulin. Now, the costs and the statistics are overwhelming, but if you take care of yourself and get checked regularly, maybe we can get these costs and these statistics to go down over the next years.